right. Well, thank you again for joining us for a lovely day for the conversation at the Whoa. The Whoa studio is available. Hit the link in the description if you need a place to record, engineer, anything. Hit them up. But again, this is a lovely day for a conversation. I am Sean from Bar for Bar. We got DJ Ammbush
and Bada T. Scott drums and ammo.
And joining us today is KD the Poet.
KD the Poet. I'm appreciative of being here. I appreciate y'all, man.
Thank you.
Young Flavor.
You're one of the people that hit up like early on. Yeah. You're like, no, I need to be on this. So we made it happen.
Definitely. I've been seeing what y'all doing, bro. So before we even get any questions, I just want to give y'all flowers for sure.
Appreciate it.
This shit been beautiful. You feel me? Y'all diving into the artist's minds in ways that a lot of people don't. You know
Come on, man. Come on. There we go.
We're trying. We're trying. I mean, on this at the same time, you're doing a whole lot on your end. As I was just watching the reel earlier today. It was you and I forget now, but it was an office hours video.
Oh yeah, my dog Randy. Shout out my dog Randy McFly. Big things with the office hours going on for sure.
Yeah, like there's a lot of stuff popping up now.
Facts.
Like we talk about it all the time. We're like, ooh, there's something coming in the bay.
Mm-hmm. It's something shaking up
all over the place.
I had this conversation with the homies quite often, actually, regularly now. It's just I don't know what it is. You know, I can't pinpoint it, but there's something going on right now. It's something brewing, bro. Motherfuckers got the spoon in the pot right now, bro. I'm telling you.
There's just everyone's doing something.
Facts. I love to see it.
And it's not even like they just doing it to do it. Like they're doing it because they really believe in it and they're all about it.
That's the shift that I've been seeing lately. Is like. You put it perfectly. Motherfuckers not just doing it to do it now. It's like real intention behind what a lot of people are doing now, which I've been loving to see because it's like, nah, let's get the ball rolling on some real positive and on some intentional shit. You feel me? Like we got things we really trying to do out here.
Boy,
come on,
man, it's really low. It's like when you see the loading, like it's just getting to a point. You know what I mean? Because like we were just talking about. I'm fast forwarding all into the discussion.
Come on.
But I just want to I want to get to what we're kind of talking about. And from what I'm witnessing is his live performance, which I've witnessed, at our show. I've put on shows. We did the Ivy Room. We did that one.
That's right.
DNA Day. And I'll say as a cat that's been going to shows for 30 years, from the KRS-Ones to the whatever. Your performance and seeing it evolve has been exceptional.
That's love.
I mean,
bro.
like,
appreciate
and to me, that's what garners fans. I could grab music, or at least me.
Yeah.
If you're a person that I'm not a casual listener, I'm the opposite of that. So whatever. I'm an informal. I'm a psycho. So I'm like...
You go all in.
Yeah. So it's like, when I hear something, until you deliver it, until I can see it delivered live, I'm not all the way in.
Facts.
When you rap and keep getting better and better and just enjoy... It just seems like you enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it seems like it's not a heavy lift. You know what I mean? You're like, oh man, I'm having fun. I'm smiling, laughing.
Come on.
And to me, that's the thing that that's gonna be the foundation. That's the foundation to build on. So
I appreciate you, bro.
I salute that.
Come on, brother.
So everybody turn those vocals off, baby.
Hey,
I mean, you keep a little bit in there.
Keep what you need.
Yeah,
like I ain't gonna fault you. I ain't shaking no buildings up over this, but no less. It adds to the experience. That was one of the biggest things for me when I kind of first started really stepping more into performing regularly. It was just like. My people who fuck with me in a close way and want to see me do things with this would tell me. They're like, bro, like, the next level is you not performing over your tracks no more. And then, like, I mean...
Naked.
The beautiful thing about that for me was, like, I've seen people get that advice and not take to it well or take to it with any urgency, you know?
Yeah.
To where like, nah, we still gonna rock with these tracks for like another year. I might flirt with the idea later.
Right.
You feel me? And this is not a bragging point, but it's just real. It's just how it happened. The first time I really started catching wind of multiple people telling me that same thing, I just locked in on it, bro. I started reaching out to my engineers, like, bro, send me show mixes. Send me show mixes, and I just start getting in that motherfucker. I'm in my living room rehearsing this shit. Just turning this shit up full blast on my TV and rehearsing these shits. And I instantly saw the difference, for real.
Oh, man, these people
didn't used to talk about my live experience like that, you know? So just even the fact that I could, you know,
get to
wholeheartedly and stand on and describe it as an experience, you know, is night and day from what it used to be, you know? And I really do feel like it's an experience to this point now, you know? Like, so I'm proud of that for sure. So I appreciate you acknowledging it. Come on.
We just keeping it solid. I don't know, man. Somebody got to, you know what I mean? Somebody got to point this out. It comes up in every other episode, you know what I mean? Because that's kind of what we're standing on as far as like bringing this art to the table. You know what I mean? And that's a key component.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? So anyway, man.
Come
on. You know, if you rap over it, no, I'm not mad at you.
Come on, it ain't no hate. It's all love.
So you can
do
better,
there's just
though.
levels.
Hey, you know,
there's just
somebody
levels.
Somebody got to say it.
Yeah, it's just levels to it. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's, you know, Drake still rap over his shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, even though Kendrick wouldn't agree with that, but Drake is still, you know, he's still like the premier
he's still one of them top
G.O.D. out
acts,
there,
you
know? But he be out there with the, you know, he's out there with the vocals playing. Anyway.
Or he letting them sing.
Yeah, he's like,
that's a whole nother conversation when we get to talking about, I could talk about that shit.
You know, we just spent $300 so I could sing, rap your song.
And how y'all sing a majority of it.
This whole episode we dedicate this whole episode to rapping over.
Get your show mixed.
Yeah,
that's what we saying. Get your show mixed,
dedicated to not rapping over. Boy, I know this cat's like, these cats talk about this shit every time.
We're tired of that.
Anyway.
Before that, though, I just wanted to say, like, I randomly see, like, Drake clips from, like, his shows, and he's doing the thing where he's just, like, pointing the mic at everyone, and nothing.
He's like, crickets.
And that's, like, the most awkward thing, just watching it.
We gonna get it right next time.
Yeah. Next, it's coming back
and
around.
You know,
that's like stage diving and nobody catching you. Exactly. You know, hey, y'all ready? Nope, we're not ready yet.
Hey, that's why you stay ready so you ain't got to get ready, man. For real.
Let's move on, man. Let's move on. That's our segment. That's our segment.
We care too much. We can talk about this forever.
That's our segment, and I guess we just got to have this segment in every episode.
For real. Right? We jumped like right to the 25-minute mark.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Just because we see, this is what happens when you talk before
it's always a second
record. We start the bubbling. I'm like, oh man, I want to get this out the way. Anyway.
So winding it back a bit. For everyone who's stuck through that conversation,
right.
Who are you?
I'm Katie the Poet. I'm from Berkeley, California. You know, I rap. I call them life raps. I do more than rap. I'm an artist, but you feel me, to describe my music, I call them life raps. That's what I'm pushing. I'm pushing this real shit, this real and stuff everybody can relate to, or most of us as human beings, you know? That's who I am.
There it is.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone's listening to music, I think that's what they can gather from it.
Yeah, come on.
So you hear a lot of that.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the bigger things for me in the music. I just want to, you know, I'm not out here trying to fabricate no shit or make it seem as if this life is perfect, because it's not, and anybody who is living in it knows that. So why not speak on it in a way that's, you know, relatable for all of us and it can be grasped, you know?
Okay, let me jump in real quick. This is, you know, it's not sticking to the script. Where does that, you know, where does that philosophy come from? You know what I mean? Is that familial? Is it homies? Is it, you know?
I would say that comes from, like, for real, just multiple factors for one. But like, if I had to pinpoint one of the bigger ones or the biggest, it would just be, funny enough, the type of shit that was popularized or being pushed out when I first started rapping. You feel me? I started rapping, I started really penning raps and like, oh, I could do this. And I would say 2015.
Okay, damn, I had that number in my head.
Yeah,
so,
like 2015 like for real. My junior year of high school, I'd say. And then just to speak on that, it was more so like the shit that was popularized at that time. It was a lot of the, and no slight to anybody, the type of music that was out. It was very obvious what was being pushed to us, you know, and what was becoming the sound to, especially more specifically in the Bay. So like for me, I definitely just kind of wanted to like break that mold a little bit. You know, like I didn't feel like I was hearing a lot of people from out here rap in a way that was like, you're getting introspective shit or anything that even is past surface level. You know, like shit is not talking about killing.
So 2014, are we talking about Ivy? We didn't want to say.
No, you know, like, because all due respects to you. You can't. I would never take away from a time period or an era or a sound that contributed or that got eyes on us. You know, like it's definitely all love to people who was pushing whatever type of stuff. Because at the end of the day, that's your creative decision. But that, to circle around to the question, that is what played a huge part in that for me. It's just like I didn't want to. I could have made some shit that like everybody else is making, but it wouldn't be true to me because I don't live that way, you know? And a lot of people don't have that much care for the art to even, for that to be a factor. Yeah. Like, damn, this is not my life. Maybe I shouldn't rap about this, you know?
Nope.
Oh, I can say that. I'm not actually about that.
But it sounds good on the track. You feel me? And it's all about sonics and what you can get to be...
Oh, here we go.
I mean, like you said, like if that's what they want to do, that's cool. But that's not you.
Exactly. To answer the question in short form, that's just not me. You feel me? Like what heavily contributed to that philosophy and that way of me going about making this music shit is just literally the fact that I wholeheartedly put a premium on staying true to myself. You know, and being my authentic self and really speaking to my actual reality and my experience, you know?
Damn, so to piggyback kind of off of T. Carrier, which is kind of different.
Yeah.
So it took him, he had to evolve to get to where he's at, to where he looks back now and goes, man, I wish I could have, if I would have started here, where would I be now? It feels like that's kind of your starting point was, I kind of see what's happening. And I want to be more of myself out the gate, which is a huge, you know, advantage. Well, not advantage, but just it's a great place to start.
Yeah, I often battle with that too because I sometimes I'll use the word advantage. You know, like now I feel like it did put me at an advantage to know that I didn't want to just talk about whatever. You know, but I think also it's just more so of a like. That's a decision that you have to make at your starting point, regardless. Are you going bullshit and do what you feel sounds good and will be, you feel me, more palatable to the public? Or are you going to really get into some shit, you know? And like I said, for that reason of just knowing it's an inevitable thing almost, I understand both sides. I'm not naive to it.
Yeah, you're not knocking them.
Exactly.
No, that's dope too, because I mean, one, you're making music that's true to yourself, but there's still an audience for it.
Yeah.
Hell of people want that.
And that was one of the more comforting realizations that I came to in stepping into that. Cause even like, funny enough, even as I speak on it, I know it might sound as from like day one, first rap. I know I'm about to spit the most intro. It wasn't that necessarily, but there was always something consciously in there. But I say that to say like it took a minute to still get here, you know, like, and in going through that journey of like just deciding that's the direction I wanted to go in, I realized there was an audience for it. And I realized I didn't have to search super hard for them either. You know, like there was people who are already, you know, you have your people who support you already because they fuck with you, you know? But in hearing the art and like really locking in and like, nah, this is something we've been looking for. You feel me? Maybe some people didn't even know it's something that they needed or were looking for, you know, because they weren't actively seeking it out. But now that it's in your face and there's somebody really doing it, you like, yeah, this might be it. So that like to bring the statement back around, that was just a real, again, a comforting ass realization for me was just like that. Even in making this decision, I wasn't going to have to, like, that wasn't going to be a burden for me. The fact that I wanted to go this direction is that, like, no, there are actually people who would prefer you do what you're doing right now. So that just worked in my favor and helped the confidence early, I would say. Yeah.
And so you said that this is something that you started everything. This is where you went.
Yeah.
But do you think anything that you listen to, or like anything that, as far as your upbringing, I guess, kind of guided you that way, or just always that was in you?
If I give any, like, in large part, any contribution to like that direction, and in regard to the music I was listening to, it would more so be things I was listening to in years very close to when I started rapping, as opposed to like when I was a child and things I remember hearing as it was a lot less than that. You feel me? Subconsciously, of course, there was things that like contributed to that, but like when I get this question, I often my brain instantly goes to who and what I was listening to, maybe the 3 years leading up to me starting to rap. You feel me? I'm listening to the J. Cole's, the Mick Jenkins, you know, like these are people who I heavily respect their pen, you know, and like as I'm just starting to realize, it kind of goes hand in hand with like the creation of the music and me deciding what type of music I wanted to make. There was a time period shortly before that in which I kind of shifted the type of music I was listening to as well. Okay. So like that, if anything, like I always kind of like, if we talk about a domino effect, I always kind of describe that as that first domino for real. Just like, I started listening to different shit as opposed to like, that was the first thing that changed, you know?
And that kind of happened, you said, like in 2015 or so?
I would say if I had to put a basically like time ballpark, high school for sure, like maybe like 2013, like my sophomore year, I'll say for real. So that was when I started kind of, I opened up the horizons a little more, you feel me? I started being a little more open to other things that I maybe wasn't at first, you know, and even stuff that I was open to, but maybe just hadn't been at the place in my life to where I wanted to sit and lock in and actually study some fucking music or this specific album or this artist, you know, like that. I just had to get to this point, you know, like, and when I did, you feel me, I realized how much it was something that I really liked and loved. I would say a lot, you feel me, it became that. So that contributed a lot to deciding what type of artist I would become. And you feel me, that's obviously changed over time too. But
that makes a lot of sense, because I was just thinking about what I would listen to around that same time.
Yeah.
It's like, no, once you get to high school, like you kind of shift and you're able to be like, okay, let me listen to other stuff. Let me look at things differently.
Precisely.
Perfect sense.
Because that's definitely a time period that I like, for one, vividly remember, and two, like I feel like I'm sliding my journey if I don't bring that time period up, because it was such a real thing, like of me having to like, all right, you're 15 now, bruh. You sophomore year, bruh. You have all free range to go and listen to all this different shit that you maybe haven't been allowing yourself to lately. Lock in, bruh. You know what I mean? Find something, you know? Like, and once I started doing that, I just became like I don't know, like my love for music was already present. It's definitely already existed. Yeah, but it just different level once I started to actively
chemistry. You start getting it, breaking it down, getting into the science of it.
Yeah, and I'm listening, and now I'm at a point where I get to appreciate albums. You feel me? Which I hadn't previously. Like, because it was a time where, like, bro, like even now when I think about how I used to listen to projects, I get disgusted, because I'm heavy on like fair listen. Fair listen. You gotta. This is how it was made. Listen to this. Listen to it like this at least once.
See, man.
If you don't fuck with it after that, you are. But give that respect to the artist of listening to it in the way that it was designed.
That's the painting.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't take a piece of the painting out and reflip it. You gotta give it the whole. You gotta get the whole experience.
Come on.
You know what I mean? You're not. To me, I have a hard time getting in the, like, if I get in the car, I have a hard time starting something in the middle. I almost go back to the like cycle. Like I gotta go back to the beginning, and then I might only keep getting to the fourth song, but I gotta hear the piece of work all the way through.
Facts. Yeah, no, it's a real thing, and just like that's one of those things that like started to shift how I was even just digesting the music I was listening to, because I'm like, well, now this is a different layer. Like, you were as I started doing it regularly, I realized I was listening to music in a whole different way before. You know, like I was listening for like the best way I can put it, I was listening as a fucking regular ass consumer. I was a general consumer. I was listening to music to see if something was going to catch my ear, and if it catch me quick enough, for sure, we add it to the playlist. Yeah. Now I'm listening for I know there's stories being told in these. I know there's specific. I know that. Just off the strength of skipping song 2 and going straight to song 3, you might miss what the fuck song 3 is actually about. You know? So once I really locked in to that, I was just like, yeah, like, and then it just, to take it a step further, it would literally start to form how I make projects, you know? Because I'm like, nah, there's a real appreciation that I realized that I had for albums that cohesively
that's like, a journey. You know, it's a journey, man. Exactly. It's a journey.
Thanks.
So for you, that's it. As a younger MC, that to me, I feel like that is an advantage because there's an art in putting songs together.
Yeah.
Which is like, you can have somebody produce a bunch of songs, and you could have somebody that has nothing to do with any of the music come in and be like, all right, so now I'm gonna create this journey because those are two different art forms.
Thanks.
The album sequence and the music, two completely different things. And for you to even have that insight is incredible because that's what I feel like in this playlist era, in this like, oh, we got to get on this. It's hard for people to even grasp that knowledge of like, let's put a project together.
You know what I mean? Because there's like, at the end of the day, like, it's funny because I often when I speak on intention, I realize it often like I'm often going in the direction or speaking of people like us who are actually putting this, you know, this time into this shit. But intention is very real on the other side too. Sometimes for these artists, the intent is to make the thing that sounds the best and is that is going to be the most marketable and the most. So there's intention in that too. It literally falls on deciphering what your intentions with this shit is. Straight you feel me? Like, you got to pick a side, plain and simple.
And then you go get, I want 10, 12 of those songs that are like the, but then, you know, this is when the interviews always blend, you know, when I was saying like, what kind of artist do you want to be? Do you want to be the artist where summer of 2025 is kind of where you're like, man, this is a sweet spot. I'm going to kill that summer. And then after that, I don't know. Or do you want to be an artist that's 10, 15, 20 down the line? They look back and go, man.
Make some timeless
and
stuff.
And that thing, timeless, and it's still holding up.
Yeah.
And either one are cool. There's no judgment on either one of them.
Right.
But it would behoove you to be able to come up with that at some point and decide which way you want to go with it, you know?
Yeah. And it's just naive to try to act as if that decision doesn't have to be made at some point. Like, for real. Like, that's in the nicest way I can say it. You're crazy if you think you're not going to at some point have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, all right, bro, what we doing? Are we going this way or are we going this way?
Because all you're doing, you're driving the car.
We've been here for 12 years. What's happening?
we're going to whatever. We're driving the car. Are we going the scenic route?
Come on.
We want to go the scenic route. It's beautiful. We might get inspired. Or do we want to get there? We just want to get there.
Do we just want to get there? And what I found is a lot of people just want to get there. And I, regardless of that not being at all the route I'm taking, gotta respect it.
No.
Because at the end of the day, some people are here to play the game.
I want to get
there. You feel me? And they want to get ahead in the game. They want to win the game. But make no mistake, they're playing the game. You feel me? And some people, and to an extent, maybe all of us who are in this field
are
players in said game. But there's ways to go about playing it in ways that are in certain things that show exactly what type of player you are in this game. Plain and simple, you know?
Hey, man, anybody watching this, man, you know, man, it's okay. These are the artists that are the chemists. We're the chemists.
Come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're the ones that are like gonna listen to the beat backwards, forwards, take elements out. We need to remix it. We need to do, oh man, maybe we need to add that bass line. Maybe this is what we're dealing with. These are kind of like the discussions.
Yeah.
So,
And then you got the weirdos like me that take way too much thought and look into all of it for no.
but that's what that's not even,
Yeah.
that's the community
Exactly.
that I kind of, I live in.
It's part of it, bro. Like, some might say we care too much. I say some people don't care too enough.
I know, right? Hey, man.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Anyway, man, let's go. Let's reel it in, man. And we got the drummer, funky drummer. Can we,
Man.
Bennett, can we hear the funky drummer? Okay,
Okay,
cool.
cool.
All right. No, it's all good.
Money.
You know,
It was crazy last
Going
time.
crazy. But
no, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, they're not just banging on that shit like with Kevin.
Yeah, no, it was wild.
We were afraid
Yeah,
that
it was
man was
just
going to
like-
get beat up.
And it's like, dude, at least catch a beat. You know what I mean? At least catch a something. That's anyway,
Anyway.
we back.
I mean, I guess kind of on that same train of thought, like, who are you listening to from the Bay now that kind of blends with your sort of style? 'Cause I imagine those are people that you would listen to, but also just kind of walk the same path.
Yeah, for sure. And you feel me? Before I even get to naming folks, I'm just blessed to like, I was in Virginia for a minute. Well, I was in Virginia for like 3 years, 2018 to the end of 2021. So like, and I'm only mentioning this because in moving back to the Bay, you feel me, and living here for the second time, I definitely came across folks who, for one, I hadn't had the pleasure of crossing paths with my first time around. And secondly, people who I definitely changed my mind state on the scene. You feel me? Like, I will say I had a very, like, even as a Bay Area native, I had a very tainted perception of what the scene was like out here.
Is it like getting some distance, some space you could, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then like,
Give
and just
yourself some time to miss it.
that, and also just like, I would argue that the same thing, vice versa. I gave the Bay because I definitely felt like when I was out here, I wasn't getting that respect, you know? So in moving, folks like, damn, we watching you do what you doing still, but now you across the country, you're not really accessible like that no more, you feel me? So I think when I came back, it was definitely like people got to see like, we did miss this, you know? But let me reel it in. Some people I'm listening to right now that is definitely, I would say, like on a similar wavelength and just shit that I resonate with. Somebody I always put up there, LOE Gino. He's one of my favorite MCs out here. You feel me?
Alumni.
Come on.
Yeah.
Lovely
come on.
day for a conversation, alumni.
Come on, that's one of the guys. I think very highly of Gino for
We're
sure.
going to get him on Sway Show, too.
Hey, come on.
Man, I got to post that. We got to get
Hey,
that going, man.
get my boy.
Man, come
Hey,
on.
look,
Sway's in
almost
LA,
ready,
too.
so.
Hey,
Sway's in LA. He moved to LA. Matter of fact,
shout
today
out
was
Sway.
the first day. Today was the first day back in LA.
Okay,
After
even easier.
25 years of being in New York.
In New York, that's
so now we
crazy.
see back on the soil, so.
Hey, shout out Sway, bro. We gonna be tapped in too, bro. You know, I got your number, bro. But nah, Gino, Rex Life Raj is up there on my list. It is one of the people who talk about life. You feel me?
Yeah, man.
I'm also a part of a music collective called MTMC, More Than My Complexion, and it's dogs in there. Like a lot of us, we come from different backgrounds, different stories. You feel me? But like, the connection and the common theme is like we still are standing on our truths, you feel me? And definitely pushing our reality in this music. You know, it's not no fabricated shit. So I'm gonna shout out the guys, you feel me? My dog Cola, my dog D-Rock, my dog D Harris, Spaced Out Mars, Sunflower. I mean, it's Tommy 3 times, my nigga CJ, bro. It's a gang of us for real, but like really pushing that like that sense of like just not being afraid to tell your story and give your experience out to the world. And that, as an artist, I'm sure, and a creative, y'all know that is a whole different beast and being vulnerable enough to give out certain sides of yourself, you know? So definitely gotta shout out the whole gang, you feel me? It's a host of people out here right now, though, that I feel like are really, you know, there's a resurgence definitely right now in this Bay Area music scene that's going on. It's like we're slowly but surely starting to expect more out of this. And I love that for one. Yeah. I, for one, love that because I'll tell you what, I've been waiting on it. I've been waiting for us collectively, not just a couple of us that agree on it. I've been waiting for us as a region collectively to start requiring more to be in this fucking art form, bruh. For real, bruh.
That reminds me of what Gino said when he was at All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
And he said it was like him, Monty, Ian.
Shout out Monty.
Passwords was there. Like everyone just spitting.
Yeah.
And like you got like the lyricists out there.
Come on.
And that's a big platform, honestly.
I'm saying, bro, and it's like it's just a bunch of us out here that like are on that type of time. You feel me? Like, so to me, it was a matter of time before we got to this juncture. Like, I knew it was gonna happen, but you got to go through the journey too. You feel me? So you gotta watch you gotta see all types of people come and go in this shit. You know, but I would say like we're super close to a real. I don't even know what it is, for lack of a better word, it's a breakthrough of some sort. But like, I feel like we right there, bro. I feel like we right there.
See, what's crazy? Like, it reminds me of like, so obviously, you know, hieroglyphics. We familiar with Hiero. Like, Hiero represented, for lack of whatever, they represented the regular, you know, like relatable. If you weren't gangster rap. I hate saying gangster rap because that was some shit that somebody in the label put, you know, they labeled it. But just for context of the, you know, of the story, gangster rap was the thing. And hieroglyphics were like the beam of shining light, like, oh, I can do something I could go to work,
right,
and I could listen to rap, and then I could go to shows, and I could still be cool, as opposed to I needed to be doing this, I need to be selling that, shooting that. Now, I feel like the Bay, now we have the representatives, the balance.
Yeah.
The balance beam is coming to where we could be like, we got this side of folks that are like, we just speaking from my perspective, which doesn't have to necessarily be the gangster hustler perspective. You know what I mean?
I love to hear you say that though, because even in just hearing you say it out loud right now, I realize I haven't given, how can I even say this? I haven't went through many time periods in which like I think of this topic and think of it in the way you just brought it up as like right now we have a balance.
Yeah, we have a balance now, yeah.
I was like, because you feel me, I'm never too proud to admit how I felt at the time, even if I moved past that feeling. I think there was a time where I was so upset at what was like being pushed to the forefront, art-wise and music-wise, that like I didn't even want a fucking balance no more. I'm like, nah, I want the fucking tide to change completely now, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Because now we going on 8 years of... you feel me?
Clip that. That's a clip.
Come on. Look, like, it is just like, bro, it's like, it is so much respect for that time period, because at the end of the day, there's anything that's bringing eyes to our region and letting people see that we do got some folks out here. But the big but is that, bro, it's just like, there was definitely just a lot of personal biases that I had toward this whole conversation that kept me from seeing it in that light. So I just had to say out loud that I appreciate you saying it in that way, because now I'm at more of a point in a juncture in my career where like I'm like, I can see how we benefit from there still being that, but also now opening the fucking floodgates for people who are not on that, but still got something to say, and something that's still enjoyable, and something that's palatable, something that can be listened to and enjoyed, like I said, you know? So like now I see that in a different way, because there was a point where I wouldn't have minded if this whole side of the community decided to not drop no more music.
Disappear.
But now, I definitely can see, like, the importance, you feel me, of, like, that balance, for sure.
And truth be told, you know, we all come from that element. You know what I mean? We come and we all have proximity to the street element, but you can still make a conscious decision on if that's what you want to proliferate, if that's what you want to get out to the world.
Facts.
So, we do know that's the soil that the Bay is. That's us. That's the soil. But we still have a lot of creative minds that can go in different directions. You know what I mean? And that's the part that needs to be uplifted. You know what I mean? And pushed, and let people know. We got other stuff.
There's more to it,
and we got to talk about. Let's talk about the hyphy thing. The thing that comes up is the advantages and disadvantages of coming from a region that has a sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you might come from a region that, like the homie, I use Jake One, producer. I use him for example. He's in Seattle. He's like, what does Seattle sound like?
Shit.
It sounds, I don't even know. That's like a rhetorical question. Like, I have no idea. But it comes from, like, you come from a place where you don't have like a sound that's just dug in. So you have the advantages of being like, oh, today I'm gonna do some funk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some battle cat. Then the next day you're gonna do some sample, some old, some dusty loop. Because you have the freedom. We come from a region where it's kind of baked in, like, hey, you wanna rap? This is what you should rap like. This is what you
do. You meet the requirements. Yeah, do you rap this way?
Yeah, do you rap like this?
Because we might be able to market you and work with you there.
Yeah. Do you have these connections to the? It used to be crazy because it felt like you had to literally be in a gang. You had to have some affiliation to be able to even make any headway.
Yeah,
well, even crazy. That and like I was talking to someone. I don't want to say who it is.
Blow
but they were,
spot? No.
Yeah, like they were talking about like, yo, like I was on such and such label and they were trying to promote me as like an LA artist, but I'm from Oakland.
And it's like,
it don't make sense.
Because they care about how the shit looks more than what it really is. You feel me? Like, people want it to look a certain way as opposed to it actually being a certain way. You feel me? So if you, like you spoke on, bro, like, there was a time where, like, if you really wanted to be taken seriously in this field, or if you wanted to be looked at, you had to fit a certain mold, or you were just going against the grain and comfortable doing that. And that's something that, like, I be priding myself on is like I told y'all, even from the jump, for the most part, like overall, Big Umbrella, I've always been comfortable sacrificing, you feel me, the quickness of what this shit could be if I wanted it to be, you feel me? Like, if I wanted to make some shit that's
I could do that right now.
You feel me? Because it's not a super challenging thing to do, So that could be done. But sacrificing that was a very conscious choice, because it's like, I don't know, it's just we really got a lot more to offer than what's put out publicly,
It's coming though.
It is.
We hear though. Like, you just breaking it down. Like, there's it's definitely a groundswell right now. You know what I mean? And all the cities. I'm not even gonna start rattling them off. For real. All the cities got their representatives that are out there on some like, yo, this is alternative to what's happening. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And it doesn't necessarily have to hit the radio. You know what I mean? You don't have to always hit the radio. We don't need the radio. But the radio, you can't front on it. People, oh man, the radio's over. No. The radio is not over.
Like, just because you don't listen to it no more. I'm telling you, it's some folks that's clocking into that joint every single day on the hour, listening for some music. Whether you think it's still a thing or not, it still means something to get that song put on there. It still means something for sure.
That's still major. Anyway, let's move on. Move on, man.
I was actually gonna just mention too, like, I feel like you can kind of bridge the gap between the two worlds too. I just think one, kind of hard. Like, if you got hyphy beats, like, it's hard to spit some conscious stuff over it.
100%.
Kendrick,
right? Right, he could do it.
He just did it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's doable. It's definitely doable. It's just all a matter of, like,
It's if you want to do it.
If you're willing to, granted, I think this is part of being an artist in general, but you just have to be willing to be perceived. You feel me? Sometimes in a way that you didn't necessarily intend.
Yeah.
You know? Because sometimes you're doing it with this in mind, and this is going to do this. I know it for a fact. And you, I mean, far left, you know? So you have to be prepared for that. You definitely, I feel for what it's worth, you got to be prepared for that in this in general. Whatever you're making, you have to be prepared for that. You have to be prepared to have your shit not be taken in the way that you intended, you know, or thought that it was going to look like.
Public consumption.
Come on.
Public consumption. Some people going to consume it. Some people going to throw up. I'm good. This is not it. You know what I mean? But that's the, you know, that's part of the journey of putting this stuff out there like that.
Facts.
It'll reach the people it's got to reach.
Exactly. I tell myself that quite often. It's like whoever is supposed to hear this will. Whoever this was supposed to resonate with, it will, you know? And that's just what it is. You got to be comfortable in that sentiment too, for sure.
That's for sure.
Yes, that's a process, man.
It is. Oh, yes, it is. Because it is very easy to get caught up in wanting your shit to resonate with every single human whose ear it touches.
That's almost like a tattoo right there. Like, yo, it's just what it is.
Come on.
Every day wake up like, yo, wherever catch you're going to catch it.
Thanks.
It's tough, man. Anyway.
Yeah.
MoveOn.org.
What?
MoveOn.org.
All right. I guess getting back more to you specifically.
Yeah.
What is kind of your goal as far as like music right now? Like, are you working on projects? You just kind of feeling the vibe, like doing more shows?
Definitely. I have a lot of music in the tuck. Like, so right now, like I would say, if I had to name this chapter, it's like this is the chapter of planning for me right now. So right now, I'm trying to put everything where it needs to be to make sense. You feel me? Like,
I'm gonna cut you off right now.
Come on.
So is 2025 the planning, and then 2026 is the launch? Because I talked to a lot of people, and it feels like 2024 was the stock, you know, like get everything lined up. It feels like this year is the let them off, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's crazy because last year I felt like I would have said that you were very correct, and like that was last year was we loading up, this year but admittedly, I definitely just got too into the movement. What was going on? Like, you feel me? Like I just got so head down working, doing gigs, doing this, doing that like the planning kind of went out the window. The planning kind of went out the window. So I'm definitely consciously, since it's early in this year, I'm really trying to like ground down and lock in on the shit that you feel me? I don't want to stop creating new shit right now, but also I have a lot of stuff that I need to actually make something happen for you. Feel me? Like you have product already. You have something that you can polish up and package it up and let's do that, you know? As opposed to, well, damn, I've been sitting on this for a year, don't really got no plan with it. Let me go and record 3 songs so I could drop a quick ass EP of right now just to keep it's just such a, you know, it's such a real, but to answer your question, like, I want to say yes, this year, I really want to use it as a lot more for planning, but I don't want to just make it seem as though that's going to be like in my head, I don't plan on that stopping my movement at all this year. Like, even though there was a strong disconnect with it last year, I think this year I understand it a little more to where like, now I know I just have to find a balance with it. You feel me? Like, I know that you're not going to be able to head down and work how you were doing last year. And be able to formulate an adequate plan to push out what you already have to. And just to make the ideas you already have materialize and become real, you're not going to be able to make that happen moving in the same way that you just were last year. So it's like right now I'm in a very transitional period of that, of just like kind of really decipher where I stand right now in this shit and be very honest with myself and what I want to do with the stuff I already have, what I have planned for future creations and things of that nature. Like, I'm definitely just in a real, like, I'm being honest with myself. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I'm definitely in the process of figuring it all out and doing with that information what I will. You know, like.
Jeez, that's crazy, man. It's hard though too, because technology, you can record so much now. It's like it's not like back in the days when you got a reel. You know, you got to get the reel, and you got, hey man, we got 50 minutes on this reel. Make it happen.
Make it work. Make it work. Something.
Make it work. Now it's just technology.
You just keep going.
Man, I'm gonna record an album tonight, tomorrow, and I'm gonna just have 2,000 songs sitting up. That's why even with Tupac was recording like now. You know, like he was in there like, nope, keep that reel. We need 20 reels in here.
Come on.
Because we about to really record 8 songs tonight. He was recording like it's right now.
Yeah.
Back then, and that cost money.
Yeah, like back then that was not a regular thing to be recording.
That wasn't a regular thing.
Yeah.
So, but you see, now you see, whatever years later, you see that he still has that, hey, Tupac got another. He could drop a new album right now and be like, oh, okay, well, that's how he got to it.
Facts.
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a good and bad thing.
Yeah.
You're constantly working on your craft, but also it's like, you might not be putting out the best stuff.
Exactly. It's a real thing.
You might be oversaturating the market.
It's a real thing, bro. Like, and it's always not a tough conversation to have. Like, that's definitely like it's just a real conversation to be had. Yeah. Is that there is definitely a such thing as oversaturating this shit, and you might not be seeing it that way because you're like, well, I'm satisfying the base. I'm giving. Right. I'm never letting them go dry. But it's like sometimes they need to be left. In that, let them digest what you just dropped 5 albums. Yeah. You feel me? Let it simmer a little bit. You feel me? Like I've just always been big on that. You feel me? Like that's why like I'll drop. Sometimes it'll be very like sporadically and far and few between because it's like I really do want to put like thought into everything that goes into this. Sometimes you do just have to like, for lack of a better way to say it, you do gotta say fuck it sometimes. What? I've been had this song in the tuck.
Get it out there.
I'm very confident people are gonna like it.
Toss it out there. Yeah.
Every blue moon is not a negative thing to do, but like just the way I move personally, I definitely prefer to think about my drops, and I've
have a plan.
That took a minute to get there too because I was definitely for a long time just an impulse dropper. You feel me? Like,
so you were an impulse. So
for a long time. So
you didn't overthink.
Nah, for a long time I did. And granted, like it's wild because that didn't change anything as far as like the thought I was still putting into projects. Like luckily when I was going through that period, for one, it was more so early in my career, and two, it was like it would more so just be singles. Like I wasn't saying fuck it and just dropping any type of album.
10, 12, yeah, I got you.
So I'm just like I was a little more active than maybe like I needed to be, but I think that was just all could be attributed to like it was early and I was still finding my footing and figuring out what it even looked like to be an artist. You feel me? Like, so I'm like, I think people want you to drop a lot. So we just gonna keep dropping since we do have the music. So
it's all learning.
It's literally a learning experience. Tricky, everything. But this specifically is like a ongoing learning experience for sure.
Yeah. That's too much, man. So much.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, man, that's what's the next
one? I mean, as you're talking about that too, like what came to mind a lot was we got people around here that kind of continue to push a certain song. Like, I mean, like Stunnaman was pushing hard,
man.
And I mean, he still does that
for a year, for like a year and change or something, man. Like, but it did what it was supposed to, for sure. And
like, do you think that's something that maybe you have something that could reach, not necessarily that level, because your vibes are different, but like, is there something where okay, this is reaching a lot of people? Like, can we spread it even further or anything like that?
I feel like I have a couple of songs that like kind of fit that mold of where like I'm still staying true to myself, but like I definitely kind of tiptoed a little more into that commercial end of things. You feel me? To where like it might be a little more palatable for a larger group of people, and then I in turn have literally watched it be that for this song. Like specifically, I have a song called "Take Me Home," and it's just a lot more on like it's hype, like, and it's I'm still talking my real life shit on there, but also like that was one of those instances in which I found probably the ideal way to mix those two things, you know, of like, yes, you're still giving off the message that you want to, but also like you're providing a groove with it now too. You feel me? Like that's one that I recall recording and even in writing it and then going to lay it down. I remember being like, yeah, I could see this translating super well, like in live settings and just in general for the fact of like, it's not some shit I had made anything like this before, you know? So like, I definitely foreshadowed the fact that like people was definitely gonna gravitate more to this one, you know. But if I had a song that fit that mold, it would be my joint called "Take Me Home," just because like I've seen already in real time how much people like that song and how much they separated from the others. I'll say
they were like,
exactly.
See, that's what when LOE Gino came through, we talked about. Well, I was talking about like listening to him. On the like kind of like it's the fusion of the rap, but it still has that like, you know, and that's why it feels like that's the kind of era we're in right now, where it's like you can rap on the head nod, you know what I mean? And then maybe that is Kendrick, you know, maybe that's part of Kendrick doing what, you know, cats out here have been doing, but maybe he's putting it on that platform where it's like, oh, you can get on that head nod. I guess it's dance, you know, dance.
Yeah, dance and
dance, you know, whatever. But you can still give that other flavor to it. You know what I mean?
Still get your stuff off.
Yeah,
you know, like,
yeah, man.
Yeah, you just it's definitely just a matter of finding what that even looks like for you. You know, because some people like it because it's easy to overthink it.
Yeah.
If you make a certain type of music and now you're kind of flirting with the idea of tiptoeing into another type of music, but still consciously wanting to keep certain pieces of you in it, it's hella easy to overthink. You know, like I got stuff in the tuck that I probably won't ever drop just off the strength of I've given myself too much time to think about it and overthink about it.
The chemistry lab, you played too much with it. And now you're like, oh, I can't even figure it out.
Exactly. So it's like, you know, that just, some songs do just have to be songs you create, you feel me? Not even drop. Some songs and just the creation of them are made to just be learning experiences. You feel me? Like sometimes I made this song I done made songs where like I'm actually proud of it. Like this is dope. I know I'm not gonna drop it, but even to know that I could step into this lane or whatever, that makes me feel something.
You in the gym.
Exactly. You putting up shots, bro. Putting up shots.
That song you might feel a way about it 5 years down the line. When all of it kind of settles down, and then it's like, oh, now it's time for me to put that out because the dust is settled. You know, it's kind of smoothed out. Now let me hit them with that.
And the beauty of it is still new to them. Should you decide to do that, it's still new to them.
Still fresh.
You feel me? You've been listening to this song nonstop for the last however many months or the last 2 years or whatever, but it's just still new to them.
Still
they ain't
fresh.
Heard this.
Hot out the oven.
So if you do still feel like it could do, I'm just a huge advocate for that in general. For my artists looking at y'all, I'm a huge advocate for that. Don't get in your own head about old music. I'm gonna put the air quotes on that. Old music, because it's only old to you. It's only old to you, bruh.
Oh man, that's major. That's major.
That's what I was about to ask you too. I'm like, do you ever feel like, oh, this is too old to put out, or we feel weird about it?
I do, and then like it's situational as far as like if I'm able to talk myself off of that cliff too, for real, because sometimes I'm like, you know, you're right, and then other times I'm like, well, let me listen to this joint again,
right.
And then that's all I need sometimes. It's just like, nah, this could still hit for somebody. This is definitely for somebody. And even in being able to acknowledge that just opens up the possibility of like, okay, we ain't closed this door yet. We ain't closed. As long as we haven't closed the door on this completely and decided we ain't dropping it, there's still hope for it.
It's still alive.
It's still alive and well, for sure. But yeah, I definitely have, there's a lot of instances in which like I'm like, this song, unfortunately, as good as much of a personal connection that I have to it, as much as I like it, I feel it's dated, you know? So it might not see the light of day for that reason, you know?
I need a jewel drop sound. I don't know what does it sound like. What does it sound like when a jewel drops on the ground? I don't know what it is. I need to get some. I need to watch. I don't know, Snatch or something like that. Get something because. Yeah, man, you dropping some real jewels over here for people to snatch up.
For real, man. These jewels, I feel like I need it at a point. You feel me? Like so much, so I don't even. Sometimes I don't even acknowledge them as jewels. You feel me? Like this just me spreading what I've been blessed to, find out in my journey. Because it's you feel me? It's a lot of shit that I could tell somebody now that I couldn't have told you 5 years ago. I couldn't have told you 2 years ago, for real.
You had to
always
take
growing,
the journey.
always changing.
Hey, experience is the best teacher, I'd say, for sure.
Still touching on kind of like just music releasing in general. I know, like, obviously you're going to look into it, like be hella critical of yourself. Do you also make sure, like, you test the waters a little bit, see if other people around you are like, oh, no, this is actually good?
Yeah.
Or if it's just you?
No, it's definitely not just me, luckily, because I think it's definitely a necessity to have other ears
for sure
touching this shit before you push it out.
Yeah, you get two in your head otherwise.
100%. And you're gonna always find something wrong with it. You will always find something wrong with your music. Literally, it never fails. I definitely have I would say a small group of people who I push unreleased shit out to, and just temp check with them. And luckily, not even luckily, but like it's just a blessing that like I trust and believe in these people enough to keep it real with me. Like beautifully, they will. Like I've had people tell me like, brother, it's cool.
Brother,
like it's cool.
Brother,
it's real.
It's
they about to drop the little that shit you might not want to hear, but you need to.
I gotta sauce it in the beginning, brother. Let me give you some love.
Come on, you still. Hey, it's all love, but
not this one.
No, I mean, but it's hella necessary too, though. Like I think there was, and I'm so grateful for it now in this current juncture that I have those people who like it's a very select few, but it's those same few at this point, And I'm just so grateful for them because there was a time where like I would never call anybody that I closely deal with in my close proximity just because I know these people. They're not yes men, But I think it's sometimes hard if you're not an artist yourself or if you're not really critically listening to this shit, it'd be hard to separate yourself from like the personal connection you have to this for the reason of like, this is my homie making it, this is my brother making it, it's a real thing that some people are unable to separate themselves enough to be like, this is what I genuinely feel about this music. And I would feel this way if my guy over here made it, or if my guy over here made it. Same exact song, if it wasn't you, I feel this way. A lot of people can't do that. Wow. So all that to say, I'm grateful that I have people that will like, let me know what it really is. You feel me? And it's not like a pressure situation of like, I'm telling you this because I really want you to fucking change it. But I'm telling you this to give you the option to know that it's been tested with another ear. This is what I took from it. This is what I heard. This is what I observed. You do with that what you will.
It's on you to
for real. But like you feel me? I have people around me who it's enough like mutual respect for it to be that. But like they know it's gonna be heard, but they also on the flip know it may or may not change what I do with this song.
Straight up.
But they fuck with me enough to offer that up regardless, which I'm hella grateful for.
Everybody done had that, man.
Facts.
Everybody done had that.
And I didn't have it at a time. Like at a time, bruh, and I think that's the point I was about to speak on is like before we veered off a little, but bro, like there was a time where nobody would tell me my shit was bad. And it was early. So that you could see that possibly being detrimental, like
that's it.
For real could be detrimental. Like luckily I was just always I've always been able to be critical of myself. You feel me? Even on like, especially once I realized and was able to grasp that like, okay, so most of these people are gonna tell me they fuck with this. Like that's what I like. At this point, it's the general consensus, and just from my observations, most of the people who, whether it's unreleased or they're hearing it when I drop it, most of the people right now as we speak are telling me that they like it. You feel me? And I'm still gonna take that with a grain of salt because I know that you really every song can't be a 10 out of 10. Ain't no way. I don't care how little amount of times that I've had somebody tell me my shit ain't good. Even in that time. Now I'm really taking shit with a grain of salt because I'm like, ain't nobody nobody go, like, y'all don't got no notes. Nobody has any notes on this shit, bro. So that became a very real thing for me that prompted me to like genuinely like, for one, consolidate the amount of people who I was showing unreleased to, but two, to also like consciously allow myself to be honest with myself too. And those two things played heavy roles in like just the type of music that I started making and just the way I go about my creative process in general. Like definitely those two things. Being selective about who gets the early, you feel me, exclusive, and two, being real with myself. Yeah.
Jewel drop, wherever. But I'm gonna get that sound. I'm gonna get the jewel drop sound. It'll be jewels falling on the ground. Like, man.
Because that's sonic rings falling.
Right. I mean, that's just a life skill. You know what I mean? Has nothing to do with rap or music. It's just like, you know,
anything you do.
Yeah, anything. Are you able to take in some information, absorb it, process it, and not add any red tape to it. You know, like without the red tape, just take it in and understand it comes from a place of like, I'm not gonna lie to you to preserve our relationship. I can't. I got to give it to you official. So, because I want you to get better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want you to get better. Man, it's
also a slippery slope too, though, because there's definitely like, at least I won't speak for every artist. I'll speak for myself though, for sure. We're like, that's a crazy. It's a weird conversation to have because there was definitely a time where like, even if I was asking you for your honest opinion, I definitely had a very desired reaction I was hoping for. You know, so sometimes you got to sit with that too. Look,
I want your opinion in fine print, but I want you to think it's raw. Look,
the fine print says the bold letters say I want your opinion. The fine print says, if you like it.
I need your
if you fuck with this very tough and are going to let me know, then I want your opinion for sure. But it's like, even in that though, when going through that time period of like, even if it's an unspoken thing, going through that time period of wanting that and having such a desired reaction to when I'm showing people stuff, it builds the character. It builds the character for sure. It does.
What a thing, man. What a thing. Creation.
It's very vulnerable.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. Somebody got to do it, though.
Somebody got to do it.
Somebody got to do it. Somebody got to do it, man.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's not for anyone else, it's for yourself.
Facts. Facts. Facts.
Putting something out there. And I know a lot of people, they just create to kind of act as like therapy. Is that something that you also kind of recognize, or is that just
100%?
Entirely different?
100%. This shit is for me, it's therapy before it's entertainment. You feel me? Like this shit is therapy long before it's entertainment for me, bro. Like my most important raps were written because, or I'll even say not my most important raps, my most like the raps that have been the most like received by the public and like people letting me know how much it resonated. Those raps were ones that I needed to let out more than I wanted to push it out to give to an audience, you know? You feel me? Like some of those ones, a lot of those ones that people resonate heavily with was like, man, I appreciate you, but wholeheartedly I can't stress enough that I did this song for me. Like I had to make this song. And I probably like, based off the circumstances at the time, couldn't make this song again, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's a real thing, bro. But this shit is super therapeutic for me.
I think those are the ones, though, man. I think those are the ones, man. You know, like I MC, I'm on the mic. But I'm still working. Like the vulnerability is something that you're working. You're just nudging it little by little. So the folks that are able to really get to that point and really, I feel like if you're able to open up, the more you're able to open up, the more you're able to allow people to relate. You know what I mean? So it just takes longer. You know, to me, I'm still on flavor. I want to be flavorful. You know, I'll put the flavor and then, you know what I mean? I'm gonna put some in there, but there's some folks that are, you know, they have that the concept like I want to really be able to put myself, and I feel like those are the artists that stick.
Yeah,
the ones that are like, yo, I'm gonna give you this, even though you listen to it and you're like, oh man, did you even really want to say that?
Yeah,
it's almost like when Kendrick did the Mr. Morale.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to that one time, never listened to it again.
It's one of those projects.
Heavy. It's heavy.
I listened to it the night it came out, never listened to it again.
I feel you.
And I was listening, I was like, damn, should I even be listening? Like, he's going wild right now. He's going crazy.
Nah, that shit is heavy.
I'm into something
I haven't listened
personal.
to it. I listened to it the night it came out and never again.
You know like this one is a one and done. You feel me?
One and done. And I'll say it was, you know, it was, I guess it was a great album, solid. But it wasn't one you just, let me run that back.
Keep running. Yeah, no, I hear you.
You know what I mean? For sure. But I do feel like that's when it's all said and done, that's going to be one of those ones that people go to and go, man, all right. He really kind of, he gave us, he just.
And taking that time is literally what separates like, I don't know which one of y'all brought it up earlier, but just like, and maybe both of y'all at a time, but artists who 15 years down the line are going to still have their shit listened to and looked at, and you feel me? Like, that separates the shit. People who are willing to be this vulnerable. I feel like there's certain shit that you put on wax that, like, as long as the people hear it, there's not even a outcome in which they're not going to be listening to this, you know, there's no way they're not going to keep running this back. Yeah. You feel me? No years down the line, you know?
It's going to hit 30 years down the line. It's going to hit. As long as people hear it, it's going to lock in.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a real thing. Thing.
Yeah, it's a lot like when you get like first into music, people are like, oh, like what are the most influential albums I should listen to? It's like making projects like that. That's crazy. Because people would be like, like if you're talking about just general music, oh, Pink Floyd, Beatles, all that. It's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then it's like, how do you make music that kind of encapsulates that same energy? That's the hard part, I think, for a lot of people.
It is, of like...
Because you're not necessarily going to get the reward right away.
No, that's the cold part about it. That's the part.
That's the part that stops some people from continuing the journey, bro.
Like, I'm over it.
Once you realize you ain't gonna get that instant gratification, what? I'm cool. No, I go do construction work.
Yeah,
they pay good. You feel me? Yes.
Cult classic.
Come on.
That's the perfect example. Cult classic means that thing just had to slow roll. You know, 10, 15, 20 people, 30. Oh, 10 years down the line.
Yeah.
Oh, this is everybody's on it. 20 years down the line, it becomes this changed the game, whether it's film, whether it's whatever. But you can't, you got to roll it out there. You got to roll it out there and just accept it that it's not just going to be. It's not gonna kick the door in as soon as you step in.
Right.
It's gonna be played with. People can go, man, it's kind of whack though. Actually, it's kind of weak, right?
It's like there's always gonna once you get comfortable with the reality that there's always gonna be two different sides, and that there's always gonna be people on each of those sides in regard to whatever it is.
Yeah.
Bro, you can, once you comfortable putting out your own shit, bro, like I always think like one of my favorite albums, and to me, one of like my personal journey, one of the more influential albums to me, I always think, what the fuck if Kanye never put out 808s and Heartbreaks, bro? Bro. Like I literally made a song like a year, 2 years ago, where like I was like, for the hook, I was just heavily in like my melodic auto-tune ass bag. You feel me? And I'm just like, of course, this nigga wasn't the first person to do, he wasn't the first rapper, you feel me, to use auto-tune. But like in my experience and in my journey, this is one of the first people I can recall hearing like,
doing it in a certain
way. Hold up, bro. Like, cause I'm like, this is somebody who you feel me? We hearing the Through the Wire. We hearing the,
man.
and then my man, in the night, I hear, what? What are we talking about?
Come on,
bro. Runaway? What are we talking? All that to say, bro, it's just certain, it's just certain shit.
Though. I mean,
facts.
It's a real...
telling you.
You take that thing out, and we're talking about a whole different.
Yeah.
Music is. He completely changed the landscape, but that goes to the point of being like, when you decide I'm gonna make that left turn.
Yeah.
That nobody's taking, and it might be a risky turn.
Yeah.
Do you gotta wait till you're 4 albums deep to go? All right, now I'm gonna flip the script. Or do you, man.
And that was the whole point. Like, I got so lost in the admiration and excitement for that album that, like, that was literally the point. Yeah. So I'm glad you circled it back. It was just like, bro, like, being comfortable and taking that leap, bro. Because at the end of the day, this shit is, like I said earlier, and I'm going to keep saying it, bro, like, in creating and being vulnerable enough to release music, this shit is always a leap of faith. There is nothing that we drop that we know everybody gonna fuck with. You feel me? So, like, to take it a step further and go out of your normal comfort zone of making music and to take that leap in that way, I just feel like, bro, once you get comfortable doing that, can't nobody tell you nothing about your stuff, bro.
It's a rap. You gotta, I'm good. But it's just a lot of people the majority of people, including myself, you know what I'm saying? The majority of people aren't willing, or they can't conceive taking that type of. But at least we're talking about it, so we know conceptually. It's somewhere
there.
That's what we're trying to get.
It.
Yeah, we could acknowledge it, and we could be doing our version of it. Yeah. Slowly getting to that point, but
it's a real thing. I always say that, like, we as people in general, I'd say, but as artists even more, like, it's hella easy to cling to familiarity, bruh. Hella easy to cling to familiarity and just do what you know is gonna hit, you feel me, or what you have a real inkling that your base is gonna fuck with and continue to give you that same type of support. It's very easy to just stay on that, you feel me, and you can have a whole alternative pop rock album in the tuck. But because I know that what my fans already know, something surefire that they fuck with, let me just drop this album instead. You feel me? We gonna think about this album for a little longer.
We're gonna let that thing sit.
It's a real thing. You gotta be willing in this journey to take them leaps, bro, for sure.
Damn, he did, man.
That's hella funny too.
That's a good tattoo, man. We gotta get some quotables.
Come on.
Hip hop quotables.
No, when you said the alternative, like, rock shit, like, that just immediately came to mind. Rue's doing something wild.
Yeah.
He should, though. He should.
He has, he has it in him. He's kind of snuck it out.
Definitely has it. I've heard a couple where I'm like,
nah, man.
Hold up. I didn't know this. Like, not even in that type of, I just didn't know this was it. I didn't know you was in that bag. I didn't know your hand was also there, too. You feel me? Like, so it's, and I think that's also a dope ass part about taking said leap. It's just like, bro, you are literally opening another. You're exposing another layer that people didn't know you had, bro. And sometimes it's not I would argue a lot of times, you feel me? It's not a negative type of surprise. Like, it's often a pleasant surprise. Like, bro, I didn't even know you could do that. Like, especially if you're like, I'll use myself as a very specific example. Like, when I first started, maybe for like the first really like the first 5 years of me rapping, bro, like, it's night and day from what I do now, because I would never do no melodic shit my first 5 years of rapping, because I was so stuck on I had to. That was my MO. I was trying to let niggas know that, like, in my head, none of y'all can rap with me. You feel me? Like, in my head, and this. You feel me? We all be young and naive. I was 18, 19, you feel me, when I first started recording songs, you feel me? And in my head, I'm the rawest nigga to ever touch a mic, you feel me? So I'm like, I'm not going, like, literally, I can vividly recall conversations I had with some of my folks of them trying to convince me to do melodic shit because they know I can hold a note, I can sing a little bit. And me telling them, like, nah, bro, like, genuinely, I think that would taint my image as, like, the rapper I'm trying to be. You feel me? Like I feel like niggas ain't gonna have me in those conversations of the best rapper no more if I get to draking it out on these hooks and shit. You feel me? Like what they gonna say for real? But getting past that was like everything for me. I don't have some of my bigger and more relatable and loved songs that I've made if I don't take that leap. You feel me? Like a couple of my bigger songs have a melodic hook in there. You feel me? Of like and again, 5 years ago I would not have done that. Damn, or 10 years ago now, I say, you feel me? Because 5 years ago I had already kind of stepped into that bag. Yeah, but 10 years ago, you feel me? When I first started, hell no. Like I'm not looking to do anything singing. I'm trying to rap and let y'all know I'm that. You know,
trying to bar it up. Bar it up.
Yeah.
Damn. Shoot, well, I mean that's all the notes I would have had.
Hey man, damn.
I don't know if you had anything else to touch on.
Did we ask about any the releases or any did we kind of get to the we did get to the new new joints. I mean, you know, I think we kind of touched on it.
Yeah, the track dropped last week.
Yeah, you feel me? I definitely just dropped a single called The Grind. You feel me? It's actually off of a project that I have tucked. I've had tucked for a minute. Funny enough that this has been a huge conversation point today. But like, I have this project called I give y'all the scoop. It's called Struggles of a 20-something, and I've literally had it tucked since maybe like I think I completed it at least to where it's at now. At the end of 2023.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like it's kind of been sitting there, and I've been
just in the oven. That thing,
you feel me? Because even as I told y'all earlier, how last year I was supposed to be planning, but I just got so immersed in like the work and the head down of it that I didn't. You feel me? So that's one of the reasons why that joint is in the tuck. That's definitely something that I am planning to drop soon though. So I'm just trying to get everything together, roll out.
Super ballpark on it. Like, what's the super ballpark of? You know what I'm saying? This.
If I could give y'all a ballpark right now of like when it's not the most specific estimate, but no less, I definitely think by the end of the year. You feel me? Because I still want to give it its time to give it the proper rollout and just, I want to package it up the way it deserves to be. Because
No, you got to.
Excuse me. This is one of those projects that like I've had the opportunity to play this for. That's when last year I went through a lot of the year, like here and there, just linking up with my closest folks and playing on this project because it's one of those to me, you know, like probably it's probably gonna be my most vulnerable project ever. You feel me? Ooh. Second to one that I've dropped before, but like, people have cried to me when I played that project. You feel me? This project that I'm speaking on, Struggles Over 20-something. Like I've had folks literally like boo-hooing over songs that I have on there that's like, it's heavy shit. Yeah. It's just touching on like what life has looked like for me stepping into adulthood, life, grief, you feel me, all lessons and shit, you feel me? Like, it's a lot. So it's definitely one of those ones I'm excited to give out to the world. But that's like that's one of many things I have tucked right now because there's definitely a whole fucking, there's a lot of music tucked right now.
We could wrap it, but say when the album drops, will that be kind of like the now we in, you know what I mean? Now we on the consistent, or is it like, and then you're gonna let that sit, or is it gonna be like, we off to the races? We trying to, we trying to get on that.
I think with that one, whenever it does actually drop, I could see that being
here we go.
I could see it being that one, based off how I feel about the project personally, based off people's reactions, people who have heard it. You feel me? Like, because it's probably north of like 10 or so people who've got to hear this project. You feel me? And everybody's like, bro, I think this might this might be that one when it does drop, if you do everything else correctly. So it's like, I definitely, when I drop that, I want to have a lot more planned behind it too, so I can definitely keep that ball rolling.
Yeah.
I think by the time I drop that, I'm going to already be in a mode where like, I just want to
keep the ball in the air at that point.
Because momentum is real. It's hella real. So, yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you want to let the people out there know? You kind of said a lot there.
Yeah, you really, yeah.
Thanks again for doing DNA Day. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, thanks for having me. That
Drums
was
and
beautiful.
Ammo Day. It's funny because the homie asked me, "Hey, so you doing DNA Day this year?" I'm like, "Oh, I guess it kind of feels like one of those
one of them
yearly
recurring
things." I'm
things,
like,
for real,
"Damn,
for
I
real.
don't thinking
It
like
gave
that."
off that feel for real.
Yeah.
It gave off that feel.
Okay, so
Hey,
yeah,
I'm
I'm not making a official announcement, but
Listen,
it's in the works. You know
Come
what I mean?
on.
It's in the works. So and he did flame it up. He came and got on that mic and controlled the crowd
Come
and you pulled people in. You reeled them in.
much love, bro.
You know what
I
I mean?
appreciate you for sure. No, I appreciate y'all having me too, for real. This is a dope ass sit down, bro.
Most definitely.
Come on.
Hell yeah.
My dogs.
Brow. Lovely day for a convo.
A lovely day.
Knocking water over and shit already.
So give us official, man. Land us.
I don't even know where I'm at. Thank you for joining us again.
There you go. I don't know.
A lovely day for conversation. Bar for bar. Drums and ammo. Katie the poet.
KD.